and welcome. Today we're going to make a really nice simple homemade vegetable soup using just a few ingredients. We've got the humble spud, which we've just peeled and finely chopped. Any potatoes you have will do. You can even use leftover mash if you have some in the fridge. And we're going to use some leeks. We're going to use some chicken stock and just some milk. Okay, now here we have a leek. A leek is part of the onion family. If you're not familiar with leeks, don't be afraid. Do try this once and you'll understand what I mean, that for a very simple vegetable soup with potatoes and leeks and a few store-cupboard ingredients, it will taste fabulous. Now, leeks are part of the onion family and they're generally grown in the sandy soil. So we tend to prep them, we just tend to peel away until there is no grit. You see there's a little bit of grit and we don't like that. So we just tend to peel it away. I'm going to top and tail it, just a little inch or so, and just here to the top of it. And there we have the nice little rounds of the leek. Okay, so I'm just going to finely chop this, because the smaller that you chop the vegetables, the quicker that they will cook. So this is a nice, quick and easy, fast soup that you can make within a half an hour. So coming in on those cold winter days, you can have a nice bowl of soup to go with that homemade brown bread in no time at all. So I'm just finely chopping the leeks. And you can make as much or as little of this soup as you wish. Today I've used just 3 potatoes and just 1 leek because I just want a few portions. It's also very good to keep in the fridge for several days. And you can also freeze it in individual little freezer bags, and it freezes really well. And the beauty of freezing a little portion of soup like this is that you can take it out of the freezer in the freezer bag and put it straight into the microwave, and you have a lovely, lovely bowl of piping hot soup within minutes. Okay, so here we go. We have our leeks finely chopped, nice and easy, and our potatoes finely chopped. We have our chicken stock, and we have some milk. So the next stage is we're going to go and cook this. Here we have a nice large saucepan on a very high heat. We've added just about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, and we're waiting till that gets really, really hot. Now how we're going to try and see, or to test and see how, if the oil is hot enough, we're just going to add in a piece of the vegetables. We hear them sizzle, we're good to go, okay? So straight in, all of the leeks and all of the potatoes, all in one go. You can hear that nice sizzle, and that's exactly what we want. Now, we just keep turning and turning the vegetables in the oil. The idea is that we're coating, see that lovely shine? We're coating all the vegetables in the oil, and that they're toasting nicely in the pan, okay? And this is a really important part of the soup, and this is what gives it a lovely base flavour. Don't leave it, stay with it. Shake the pan, keep the pan moving, don't allow it to stick. And it will start to stick in you. And you can see that lovely colour there, that light brown at the bottom of the pan. That's flavour, okay? So we're just going to cook it out for another few minutes. I have my kettle boiled, and then we're going to add some boiling water. Now here we are 20 minutes later, and we have this lovely, lovely smell in the kitchen. We have our potatoes are cooked through, and the way I'm testing to see if everything's cooked, so I'm just catching a little piece of potato and squashing it with the back of the spoon. And I know then that's done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a hand blender and I'm going to blend it to make a nice smooth soup. You can, if you like chunky soup, by all means leave it this way. I'm going to turn off my heat for safety. And I'm just going to give this a little bit of a blitz, okay? Take your time doing this, and just remember to keep the top of the blender, the head of the blender, underneath the liquid at all times, unless you like a free facial. noise over. At this stage now, I'm just going to add a little bit of milk. I like a nice creamy soup. You'll see it isn't completely blended. I like the odd little chunk in it, but again, this is down to personal taste. So I'm just going to add some milk, and that'll just cream the flavour of the soup. Again, personal taste comes in here. It's your choice, but again, it just gives a lovely creamy flavour to the soup. Just like so. And the next thing is we're just going to check for seasoning. So I'm just going to grab a spoon and I'm just going to taste it. It's very important that you taste the food before you season it. We added some chicken stock, so that's going to give a certain element of saltiness. So we need to check now to see, do we need to add more salt? Do we add pepper? And again, personal taste comes into play. Certainly enough salt in that. For me, I'll add a little bit of pepper, but not too much because I want to make it family friendly. And I think there's plenty of salt in that. So here we go, a very quick, really nice, hearty bowl of homemade soup. Just a few ingredients. So we're just going to ladle this into a bowl. And again, this is beautiful. You can put this in, leave it cool and put it into a plastic container, into the fridge, which would last 3 to 4 days in the fridge. You can also freeze it. It freezes very, very well. And this is just a whole pile of goodness on a cold day, coming home to a bowl of hot soup. There is really nothing better than that. Homemade leek and potato soup, nice and quickly.